Hello, welcome to the Late Night Lounge here on Latte Firm, Friday, the 30th of January. January is almost over. It has come and gone, and the fixtures have come thick and fast. And Arsenal are back in action tomorrow at Ellen Road, where it's not going to be easy. Arsenal taking on Leeds with a chance to go clear again of Manchester City, who play against the old enemy on Sunday. Welcome to the show. Hope you've all had a glorious week as we look to put the cold weather and the short days and the dark mornings and dark nights behind us and go into the last weekend of January, hopefully spring in our steps going into February as we look ahead to spring. Welcome to the show. For those of you tuning in for the first time, please do, of course, subscribe to the channel. If you enjoy the content, drop a like on the video, all that sort of stuff. Warm welcome to our channel members, to our Patreon members, and of course, those of you that are just here to watch tonight's content. A very warm welcome to everybody. Where do we start? Let's start with the chat. Dan Alpha, who is a Patreon member and channel member, says, "Good evening, gentlemen. Long time no see. Are you ready?" Great to have you back in the Patreon chat, Dan. Glad Patreon sorted that all out. Welcome to the show. Hope you've had a good week on the site. AFC 777 says, "Good evening, FK. Only a win will do tomorrow. Come on, you Gunners." Yes, look, it's whet the appetite. Free scoring goals, kind of, in midweek. Goals from forwards, vertical passes, breaking the lines through the centre. We've got lots to look forward to tomorrow. And Kai Havertz is, of course, back. Jizzle McDizzle, if we do not win at Leeds, and I'm going to say we won't win this league, I'm a neurotic, anxiety-ridden mess because of this team. Let me tell you that Leeds are on a bit of a surge. And look away now, Jizzle McDizzle, but since the 1st of December, so almost 2 months now, they are 6th in the form table in the Premier League, just 7 points behind Aston Villa, who are top of the form league in that period. Look away now. Shale says, "Evening, boys. Solid performance tomorrow, and we're winning 2-0. Looking forward to seeing more from Kai." Apparently, Kai Havertz is fit to start after his first half performance in the week. V Vlad, welcome to the show. Good evening, all. Hope Yembeze had a good debut this week at his new job. Big game for us. Have to win. Come on, you Gunners. He had such a good week that he's not joining us tonight, ladies and gents, boys and girls. Very, very sorry to disappoint. He is actually on his way to Bradford, I believe, where his in-laws live, and he's going to go and have a wonderful weekend with his family. I think maybe to celebrate his first week at work. But I've been calling him. I've been attempting to have dinner with him. I've been attempting to have coffees with him. The guy is just exhausted. He gets home after that commute and he just heads straight to bed. Pray for Yembele, but congratulations, brother, on your new role. Hope you are smashing it. Phoenix says, "Not worried about Leeds one bit, as long as we play a 4-2-3-1 with Eza in the middle. If Odegaard plays, then I'll start to worry. We need to speak on this guy, and speak on this guy we shall tonight. We're going to talk about Eberechi Eza. We're going to talk about Martin Odegaard and whether Arteta needs to change things up. Other things we can talk about, Max Dowman, now set to sign his long-term future with Arsenal, a pre-agreement before he signs his first professional contract. That news broke today. We're through in the Champions League, 8 wins from 8, absolutely going strong, and some sort of a draw has been made today. I don't know what. I didn't even know it was happening. We'll get Wayne to fill us in on all of that. And then, we'll look ahead to the Leeds United game. Keep the chat coming. Paul James says, "Good evening. Games are coming thick and fast. Full squad. What can go wrong?" And Jonathan, "Good evening, FK and chat. Big week again. Leeds away tomorrow and Chelsea on Tuesday to book a cup final spot at Wembley." Gosh, Chelsea on Tuesday. Business end of the season starting. Come on, you Gunners. Talking of business end, I don't know if you guys have seen the potential fixtures. We could play Manchester City 3 or 4 times in the space of about 4 weeks. That's not going to do Jizzle McDizzle's stress levels any good, but that could be a very fun or very heartbreaking few weeks for Arsenal. Just one timely start. Is that too much to ask, says Jizzle McDizzle. I had to put my kids down to sleep. My wife's out for dinner tonight, and she's out for most of the weekend. So it's just me on my J's doing the babysitting. I had to put the kids down, and they went to sleep like clockwork, but then I had to pee and get changed, and here we are. Right, let's bring in our fellow host tonight. It is, of course, Wayne. How are you, Wayne? Looking good.
I'm good, thank you. I got drenched, though, a bit earlier. I don't know if you were out in the rain on your way home.
I was. I luckily, I wear my Timberlands, and I've got my big puffy sort of jacket with my Arsenal hat and my hood. So I'm weatherproof, rainproof. I'm ready for any kind of conditions. How did you get soaked? Did you forget your brolly? Did you not check the weather before you left?
I don't carry an umbrella. That's a you thing. That's too upper class for me. I have my hoods and I keep it moving. But no, I didn't. Do you know what? I just went out to the shop and I didn't realize it was raining that bad. So I just kind of didn't wrap
the shop, which is literally opposite your house from
Yeah,
memory.
just around the corner.
You
Yeah,
got soaked.
I did. Yeah, I did. And then he got drenched by a bus as well because, like, the puddles on the side, there was obviously some drainage issues, and a bus just went storming through it. I had to like stop in my tracks. Otherwise, it would have been awful. It would have been awful. But
Love that.
I'm here.
I kind of wish you got soaked, to be fair. But you're here. You're here. And how's your week been, my man?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been busy at work. Everything is busy at work at the minute. I guess similar to you, it's the end of financial year. So everyone's panicking about everything.
I cannot explain to you how busy I am at work. Those of you that work in professional services, mate, the pace of work. I do not have the capacity sometimes to just deal with the pace of work. I feel like I'm just too slow. But like, it's been a crazy January. It's been such a long January, but I'm glad it's almost over. And like I said a few minutes ago, Wayne, the days are beginning to get longer. The sun is beginning to shine. The weather is getting a little bit warmer, and the heating bills will start coming down. I can't wait for spring, man. Can't wait. Well, it's good to have you on board. Really appreciate you joining. Mbele, of course, passing tonight. Tudor Madeline says, good evening, gents. Dan says, I have fully put United behind us. In my mind, we march on. Come on, you Gunners. That is very much the spirit that we want tonight. DJ D10, welcome to the show. Good evening, FK and the great gang. Hello, all you lovely gooners. Nice to see Sir Trevor Bibbins in the crowd. Hey, brother. I love the love that you guys have for each other. Really, really great. And speaking of each other, Melissa, one of our Patreon members, evening Latte family. Great to have you here. Wayne, what are we going to do first? Let's do snack check first. Yeah, Yembele's not here to ruin it for us. So this should be a delight. What you got?
Yeah, it should be. I found, and I don't know if you've had these from Boss Man Shop. You know, we've discussed squashies before. We like squashies.
Of course.
We're big fans. There's a tropical flavour.
Oh,
so
really?
They are different flavors. There's pineapple, there's watermelon, and there's mango and passion fruit.
I got to say, I'm not a fan of watermelon sweets. It doesn't matter what form it comes in. They never taste good, but I like the look of that. Go on.
That's the pineapple one. And that's really nice. That's really nice. That's mango and passion fruit.
I think that would be my favorite.
This is going to be the best one. Yeah. The pineapple's nice.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And the watermelon one, it's going to let you down, surely.
That's the watermelon one.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a fan. I'm similar to you. I just don't like watermelon in general, really. I don't like
watermelon is such an elite fruit in the summer, but sweets that try to taste like it, not for me. Ladies and gents, in the chat, what are you snacking on this evening? Let me know your choice of snack checks. Just a couple of shouts before we forget this sort of chat. Tony says, FK, Gyökeres was much better with Havertz on the field. Strange that his form went down when Havertz went off. Bromley Liam says, evening all. I think we'll see Ødegaard in a sub cameo for the next couple of weeks like we did at Newcastle. And what a sub cameo to have, indeed. Good news says, always good to see you, FK. I hope you had a productive week. Productive is such a great word. I did have a productive week. I feel like I can't work fast enough. I feel like time flies by. But good news, it is good to see you, and it is good to have everybody in the chat. So what are people snacking on? Tudor Madeline says, no snack tonight. Yembele's gone. And
Tudor's lost his appetite.
Yes, Tudor's lost his appetite, indeed. Patrick Roberts says, where is Yem? He's on his way to Bradford. I think he's stopping off in Birmingham or something about now. Anthony says, just a healthy Activia vanilla yogurt tonight. Rice and fish stew, says Anon. I don't think I've ever had a fish stew. Is it like a fish curry, but just a fish stew?
A bit. I think, I don't know how it's cooked differently to a curry, but yeah, a bit. They're quite similar.
Interesting. Dave has got a slice of strawberry blossom cake from a fancy cake shop. I hope you've got some tea with that, my friend. Jizzle McDizzle says mango, yes. Passion fruit, meh.
Oh, no, I'm a massive fan of passion fruit. I do love passion fruit.
Vlad says he's keeping it simple, just enjoying some dates. Snack check without Yem is always a toned down version. I know it's all very sensible, all very solid. Paul says tonight's snack check is a salted caramel club biscuit. Ooh, that sounds nice. With water, with a hint of strawberry. What's your thoughts on flavored water? Are you a fan?
The strawberry one, I don't mind because that feels like the original one. And then they started getting a bit wild with some of the flavors, and it was just like, nah. The worst one is there's a Volvic, like lemon and lime, I think.
Oh my god,
it's just awful. It's just awful.
Why they do it? Water's literally right there, and why would you ruin water by putting lemon and lime in it?
Yeah, no, the strawberry one I do like though. I do like the strawberry one.
Okay. Hero Dunn says, hello from Australia. Let's smash Leeds. Love that. Oh, Tamba says, good evening, FK from Sierra Leone. We had a viewer from Tokyo last night. That was amazing. I think we've covered pretty much every continent in the world. Yeah, we are global. Absolutely right. Tony says he's having 4 yum-yums. That's the whole pack.
That's excessive.
That is the whole pack. DJ D10 says, come on, pure water is what your body needs and wants. That's what I'm talking about. Highland Spring FC. And these are the most elite bottles. None of that Buxton nonsense that sort of folds in your hand as you squeeze it at the bottom. Crazy. Just a cold beer, says Jizzle McDizzle. And Funner Gunner is in the house. Says, hello, everyone. How are we doing? We're well. We are very well. Tonight, I've got a classic. Dave will approve of these. The Milka Raspberry Jaffa Cakes. I mean, they're half open because I've been working late and snacking on a couple a night with a cup of tea. I'm going to tuck into those in just a few minutes. Binny says flavored sparkling water is very popular in Iceland, the country. Yes, Binny said in the week last night, actually, Wayne, that he was from Iceland. And there were a couple of jokes about FK. He doesn't mean the supermarket. Yeah, indeed. DJ D10 says, what countries other than Japan have 2 cities named with the exact same letters? Tokyo and Kyoto. Gosh, that's a puzzle. I'm going to have to look into that, I think. I'm going to have to look into that. It's a nice little riddle there. We'll get Yemen with that next week. Saka is God. Just some good old Mary Jane. Is that some sort of drink? Or is that some sort of illegal...
I think it's a substance that...
Let's move away from that. Let's move away from that. Showing my age and showing my lack of street smartness. Saka is God. What are you doing to me, brother?
It's legal in some countries.
Fair enough. I'm not going to ask where he's from. I hope he's not from East. That's all I'll say. Joel says his snack check tonight is a Magnum ice cream. Magnum ice cream tub.
Yeah, they come in similar to like a Ben and Jerry's tub.
No way.
Yeah, they come in like a Ben and Jerry's.
How do they do that? Because or do they put chocolate on top?
They put it on top, and you kind of crack into it, and as you crack into it, it kind of is in every bite. It is a lot more ice cream, I think, than chocolate, but it's decent. It's never going to beat a Magnum, like a true Magnum. But
yeah, okay. Sake's got is having the last laugh. Look at this. Everyone. Yeah, it's not illegal in the UK. Pass a touchy to the left-hand side. I'm in the USA. He says we buy it legally at the store in my state. There you go. That's good to know. Zachary God. Yeah. I'm hoping that's not going to fry your brain, though. Manny says, evening, guys. Back after a week of hiding, recovering, refocusing. Snack check tonight. Boss Man is a Boss Man pizza shop, but it's poor, unfortunately. Ice cream tub does sound excessive for a Magnum, but I think it would be really good fun to eat. Right. Welcome to the show, everybody. We have got lots to talk about. We're going to start by just giving you some news for those of you who are reasonably new to the channel. We are now on a variety of platforms. You can get your Latte Firm fix on both TikTok and Patreon. If you want to support the channel for the price of a coffee a month and get ad-free content and get into the hat for match tickets and competitions and giveaways, do head over to patreon.com/lattefirm for £4 a month. If you are on Apple and or Spotify, or listening on Apple and or Spotify, please do leave us a kind review and enjoy the content. And channel members, of course, you will also have ad-free content. Lovely comment here from a beautiful shirt, he says. Beautiful. It's a classic. That's my favorite Canon. I love that. Had it for ages, and it's quite cold. So there we go. Sakura's got us come back saying my brain was fried at birth, so luckily no harm, no foul. What does this mean, Wayne? FK is ubiquitous. I've heard of that word.
I have not.
Yem would know. Here we go. Something that is present, appearing, or found everywhere simultaneously.
In other words, gargantuan.
Gargantuan, there you go. Evening, lads, says JCF. I think we can kick on from here. Havertz with Gyok up front, Saka on the right, Ezra on the left. Inject it into my veins. Okay, let's move on to the content. And let's start with the news that broke this morning, Wayne, before we look at the Chirac game. Max Dowman is set to sign for the Arsenal. He has apparently agreed his first... Oh, where's Wayne gone? Wayne, where are you? There he is. He's going to sign his first long-term proper adult grown man contract, but he signed like a pre-agreement, if you like. And Mikel Arteta talking very highly of him in his pre-match press conference. He said what he has done with us at the age of 15 Me personally, I haven't seen it before, only with a guy that used to play in Barcelona, but maybe not even that. I mean, Mikel Arteta speaks with immense clarity, and he always speaks deliberately and intentionally. So this isn't just like a slip of the tongue, like, oh, tongue in cheek. Oh, yeah, Messi. I mean, I think that's quite deliberate. What do we have on our hands here, Wayne? And how do you feel about Max Dowman, committing to Arsenal?
I don't think we know what we've got on our hands. I don't think Arteta knows. I don't think Mertesacker knows. I don't think the club know because he is just phenomenal for his age. We don't know what he could become, where he could end up, what he'll be good at. Because right now, everything he does, he kind of looks good at absolutely everything. And I think that look, I think every Arsenal fan was maybe a bit irrationally worried that he wouldn't sign. There was the conversations about Chelsea in the summer being loosely interested, but the reality is, who wouldn't be interested in this kid at any stage, whether he signed a contract or not? I imagine there's people still interested, despite the fact we've agreed this new deal with him. But the sky is honestly the limit for him. We've seen in the past few years a number of top talents come through, and we've seen talents go on and have good Premier League careers, like Joe Willock, for example, having a top Premier League career. Ainsley Maitland-Niles broke through. He was good for us. He's having a solid career in France. And then you've got the upper tier players like the Sackers, Wanieri, and now Dowman just looks better than all of them at this stage. He looks better than all of them at such a young age. When we saw him come in at preseason, we all thought he was ready immediately. And I genuinely think he probably would have played a lot more had he not got injured. I know that he was out of the team at the time he did get injured, but I think we needed someone as direct and as dynamic as him for a little while. So, yeah, honestly ecstatic with the news, and I just can't wait to see him back on the pitch. We still probably have to be very patient with him because he is still a kid, still got GCSEs to finish. Let's remember that he's still got GCSEs to do. So yeah, let him get through that, do all of his education stuff, play as often and as regularly as he can, contribute what he can. But yeah, the sky is the limit for his abilities.
Yeah, listen, I mean, we forget his breakout season. He was in year 10. For those of you in the UK know that that's ridiculously young. And what I like about him is he's despite being 6 foot tall, he runs like he's got a low center of gravity. His ball manipulation and ball control is brilliant. The way that he runs and slaloms past defenders, left, right, shoulders drop either side. Really, really explosive talent. Very, very pleased that we've signed him up. Obviously, any sort of reference to Messi is obviously a good thing. He's been at the club. He's had an agent since he was 4 years of age. It's an agent stroke scout. I mean, it's quite ridiculous. His father is a big and loyal Arsenal fan, and I think Max Dowman was always set and destined to play for Arsenal. So really, really positive news. Interesting to hear your words, Wayne, that if he was fit, he probably would have played more. As and when he gets back into this squad back in February, next month, then it'd be interesting to see if he gets any game time in any of the competitions that we have. So very, very pleased. Trevor says, what does Trevor say? As a 15-year-old, I've just not seen anybody so professional and looks so at home playing with the first team. He can only get better, he says. I think you're absolutely right. Dowman, I know you've typed it incorrectly there, Hero Done Under. He's come back to correct me. He says, Dowman needs to play enough to get an English Premier League Champions medal. Who knows? And classic Dan Smith says, so sad that Per is leaving. Of course, we covered that story some weeks back. But really positive news. Very, very happy. And talking of positive news, we made it 8 wins out of 8. We'll talk about the match in just a moment. Very briefly, we did the match reaction last night, 24 hours after the game. But Wayne, immediately, Kai Havertz, back in the lineup, back scoring goals, back getting assists. How do you feel? What did you make of it?
It was just really good to see him back on the pitch. Like, forget the goals, forget the assists, forget his all-round performance, which I thought was really good in that first half. I was just happy to see him play football again because it's been practically a year since the initial injury against Man United. And I know that he came back against Man United on the first day of the season. He picked up a separate injury, but a full year without him is just mental for someone who, before he joined, didn't really miss games. He was always reliable. He was always available. And then we had the conversation over last sort of December and January that he's going to break down because we are just using him too much. We were overusing him at times, and that's unfortunately what happened. So just to see him back, hopefully with no pain, hopefully come out of it with a comfortable sort of feeling in his body, because you never know how he's going to react after games. He's not played 45 minutes for a while. Yeah, I was just happy to see him, and obviously for him to contribute a goal and an assist was brilliant. He looked ready, but I still think we're going to need to be a little bit patient with him.
I have to be honest, I wasn't expecting him to play. I wasn't expecting him to start, certainly. And when the news broke, out of Arsenal, of course, messaging in the Patreon chat and, of course, in the group chats, was saying that, he's going to play starting midfield. And then, of course, we were all wondering, well, who's going to play up top? And I have to say, the verticality of his playing style, i.e. he just wants to get forward and move the ball up the pitch. And you could see that in that first sort of combination that he did with Eberechi Eze. I think Nathan's just said, that Eze Havertz link up was magic. Eze with the pre-assist, Havertz with another vertical pass straight into Victor Gyökeres, 90 seconds on the clock, goal. And then the way he took his goal, I think on the 15-minute mark after Kairat had equalised, Ben White with a nice long ball, Victor Gyökeres just smashing this defender out of the way, and Kai Havertz takes a touch and just sort of, finishes it so beautifully. And to your point, when a guy's been out for so long, I said it last night, when you're injured, when you're a top level athlete playing at a professional football club, all you want to do is play. And when you're injured, you're often isolated. You're away from the group, the club, the fans, you're just with your nearest and dearest, and it's constantly doctor, physio, hospital, doctor, physio, hospital. And it's, a lot of sort of recovery and strength and reconditioning. And that stuff can be really, really sort of depressing. And so he's taken his time, and the club have taken all the measures possible to try and ease him back in. And really surprised to hear Mikel Arteta say, look, he's fit to start tomorrow. I mean, I thought maybe he'd get forward. I thought he'd come off the bench on Wednesday and play. But then he started. He went off at half time. I think that was planned. That was great. And I was expecting him to maybe have a couple of weeks off. But he's in the squad and he's going to play maybe tomorrow. Very, very, very pleased. Hero Down Under says, I've loved Kai since his Bayer days. Bayer Leverkusen. Jonathan says, Eze, Havertz and Gyökeres is the way forward. Direct football play. I think that's a very, very important point. Vivlat says, thought Kai looked excellent. The first thought was always to go forward. He is going to be crucial in the run-in. Manny saying, thought we were very average last night on Wednesday, considering that they're not in season. Kairat did okay. Of course, they did get a couple of goals in the game, but it was a very comfortable night. We did the match stats and all that sort of stuff yesterday. Tony, just a quick shout on this game. Guys, I think Norgard and Mosquera were very good. All about Arsenal, man like FK, Wayne, perfect night to cook. I haven't responded to your message yet. My apologies, been at work all day. Really pleased with Kai. As Whole Milk says, King Kai Almaty. Let's move on. Let's talk about, what are we going to talk about now? Yes, 8 wins and 8 continued. The standings. I mean, Wayne, when we started this season, mate, I never thought that we would go 8 from 8. You look at some fixtures and think, yeah, we can win that. We've played some really tough games in these opening 8 fixtures, and there we are, top of this league, standing alone, 100% record, 23 goals scored, just 4 conceded, half of those on Wednesday night against Kairat in an academic game. We'll talk about the league format, so a couple of questions about that as well. But the way we've started this competition has blown my mind.
In particular, with the fixtures that you said, I know you referenced it before, but we were having conversations in the group chats, you're having conversations amongst your friends when the draw was made. You're a little bit jittery about facing Bayern Munich. We were a little bit annoyed to face Inter Milan again after we lost to them last year, but I think we liked our chances. No one wanted to face Atletico Madrid, if we're honest. I don't think anyone thought they would necessarily finish as low down as 14th. They've had a pretty disappointing Champions League campaign by their standards, but when the draw was made, no one wanted to play them. It was all hyped up as the Dark Arts derby. And we thought that they were going to be a lot tougher than they were. We just completely dispatched them. And even away games, I know we faced Kairat, I know we faced Club Brugge, but the first game of the Champions League was us against Bilbao. And although they're not necessarily a great team, they didn't qualify, we had to go away to a team who hadn't been in the Champions League ever. And they were up for it. It was an early kickoff. It was an atmosphere that their fans had been waiting for. And we just made it look easy. And we've made the majority of this league phase look very easy and very comfortable. And I think the important thing is, although we've been disappointed with rotation in general in Arteta, I think in the Champions League we've done it very well. I don't know if people have realised that Miles Skinny played in 6 of our 8 games in the Champions League. Everyone's disappointed he's not getting minutes in the Premier League. He's played almost every game, and he's played the second most minutes, I think, in the Champions League of any of our outfield players. So we've played guys in games like Norgard, probably could have played a little bit more, but he's got minutes in the Champions League. Nkapie came in the Champions League. Mosquera's played. I think we've navigated it so well. And forget the 8 out of 8. It's just quality to finish top. And now we know that every round so far, second leg will be at the Emirates, and that's a real advantage.
It is. It's huge. I mean, really, really positive that we finished strong. And look, there were times when I thought, Arteta, you can rotate. You can just rest a few players and save for the weekend. But he's gone strong, and we're 8 out of 8. And I think Europe and football teams all around the world maybe kind of take note of this Arsenal team. Like, we know that we can get better. And I think all of these teams will know that, look, they're top, they mean business. But as we've seen before, I think PSG finished so low down in the league phase last year. They, of course, went on to win it ultimately. It doesn't really matter. You can't really look at the league table and think, oh, yeah, definitely Arsenal Bayern are going to be in the final. Obviously, it can't be in the final because we're going to meet it sooner than that if that happens.
No, Bayern would only be the final.
We only play in the final. Is that how it works?
Us Bayern, yeah, you're paired. So we'll be one side of the draw. Bayern would be the other side of the draw. However, what it does mean, though, is that we're guaranteed one of Liverpool or Spurs in our half. So let's say all goes according to.
Well, hold that thought. Hold that thought. We're going to do the draw in just a second. Before we move away from the Kairat game, if you guys want the full deep dive sort of into the analysis of the performance, check out the match review. It's on the channel feed for those of you that are tuning in for the first time. The game last night, the game on Wednesday, also marked the Gaffer's 200th win. And what better than to talk about Mikel Arteta than his biggest fan, Wayne, ladies and gents.
Has he been in charge for 200 games?
Yeah, Mikel Arteta has now won 200 games in charge at Arsenal, and that's come in 325 fixtures. But what's interesting, if you look at this chart courtesy of Transfermarkt, you think about all of these great coaches, Pep, Carlo Ancelotti, Allegri, Jose Mourinho, Diego Simeone, Jurgen Klopp, who Arteta is above, incidentally, Liverpool fans, in case you're watching, the big man, Arsene Wenger himself. But when you think about the clubs or the team state that Mikel Arteta and Arsene Wenger both inherited, and you think about, Pep has always been at the top. He inherited a top team. He's always been at the top, and they've won 200 games in 268. I think this record is phenomenal. Like, when you think about the first 2 seasons that we were just falling over ourselves and trying to clear out the toxicity and reset everything and change the club top to bottom and the sort of 8th place finishes and all that sort of stuff. And we've only really been in title races for the last, 3 years? This is the 4th year. This guy is special. I know he frustrates you sometimes, but you do like him, obviously. I think this is a phenomenal feat for Mikel Arteta.
I think it's phenomenal. He's managed us for 325 games. When the hell did that happen? It still feels relatively fresh that he joined us. I don't know what it is. It doesn't feel like he's been here for that long to manage that many games. But you're absolutely right. He deserves all the credit for 200 wins in that space of time when you consider the mess he inherited and also the mess that he was part of at the start. You have to remember, we went, before that Chelsea win, it was 10, 11 games without a win or something like that, or 8 games without a win. And we were languishing down in 50. There was talk of potential relegation fight at some stage in his first full season. I know it was COVID and stuff, but yeah, it was some dark times, some really dark times. And we've not been in Europe that whole time, so it's not like we've been stat-padding wins. We've not been doing this Champions League phase for all of his time here because we've been out of Europe for a number of years. I know there's more games now, but it's a lot trickier, especially in the Premier League. There's a lot more competition. Yeah, it is credit to him. And now, hopefully, let's just get some trophies alongside that. Because these stats are amazing, but nobody's really going to give him the credit he arguably deserves until he gets some big trophies.
Yeah, all about Arsenal underscore. All about underscore Arsenal says FK. I want Arteta to get over the line so bad. Arsenal deserve to win this title. Of course, Mikel Arteta's role in protecting the world from COVID as well. If you remember that back in 2020, insane. We haven't got at least one title under Mikel. Hopefully, it'll come, Jonathan. This has to be the season. M. Dot, welcome to the show. Says good evening, FK and Wayne. Better late than never. Yep, you for once, not me. But welcome, my friend. Hope you've had a good week, and thanks for tuning into all the shows that we've had. Zachary God asks, I saw a great question, and it was, if you could tell Arteta one thing, what would it be? Oh, that's a great question. In fact, let's get the chat involved. Chat, if you could ask Mikel Arteta one question or tell him one thing, what would it be? Wayne?
I would probably say to him, don't be scared. Rob Holding's not here anymore. Just let's go for it. Vamos, as he always likes to say, as you always like to say, let's just go for it. And hopefully, fingers crossed, I know we'll talk a little bit about the Leeds game, but we spoke last week about his press conference previously, where he hopefully now is maybe showing signs that the shackles might come off a little bit. I think Leeds will be the real temperature check on whether those words mean anything. But yeah, if I was to say, let's just go for it. I know that we're nervous. I know that the players are probably nervous, but they're so good. We are so good as a team that you can beat teams just by playing football. We're that good. So let's just go for it.
Do you know, Zachary's God, this is such a great question. And I think we just need to do a show on this alone. So many things have been going through my mind. Like from a football perspective, I kind of want to say to him, just let the team play more attacking. Like play faster, play quicker, play vertically, take shots on goal and just up the tempo, like take risks at the other end of the pitch, not along the back four in front of Raya, because that gives me a lot of stress every game. But you know, on the other hand, I kind of just want to say thanks to him, man. Like if he was here right now, I mean, I'd want to know what fragrance he wears, but that's another ball game. But like if he was here right now, I'd say to him, Mikel, man, just I'm so proud of everything he's done for this club. And we haven't won anything. We haven't won a league title yet. We haven't won a Champions League yet. We may not. But like, despite that, from resetting the club, getting rid of the toxicity in those big characters, cobbling together a squad of players, and every single individual I've got some sort of affection for. Like, you know, we've had squads over the years, Wayne, where we've looked at players and thought, for fuck's sake, you know, we've got to move him on. He's just not good enough. I love every single one of these boys. And you know what? It fills me with immense pride when I see him on the touchline, when I hear him talk, when I see him live and breathe every kick and he feels every emotion. I love the fact that he's a former player as well. Actually, there is one thing that I'd probably ask him to do, and that's not to be so mental on the touchlines. I think there's a lot of science behind a calm manager, and maybe that's why we're just a little bit rigid in our play. Yeah, like I don't think pragmatism is the word. I just think like, do the players hang on every word, every instruction that he has, and does all that constant barking, shouting? I mean, like he doesn't stand still. He doesn't keep quiet. Arsene Wenger was complete opposite. If you remember, he'd just go and play, and he would rarely get involved. So it's just interesting. But I would say thank you. Let me come to some of the chats. Thomas says, this is our year. Shami says he would ask Mikel Arteta, he'd say, look, play more direct. Let Ødegaard roam. We'll talk about Ødegaard in just a minute, Karen. DJ D10 says, play Norgard. Yes, criminally underrated, in my opinion. Jonathan says, trust Eze in the run-in. Manny says, be more aggressive. Mike says, play Eze at 10. D-Day Spring would just say, I'll just tell him, well done. Leon says, don't go full strength versus Wigan. That's what I want to say. There's a PTSD right there.
Leon has a brilliant comment a little bit further down as well.
Let's check it out. Classic Dan Smith says, I would just say thank you. Mikel, you've changed our lives. This is our year. Vamos, says Brown Dave. I love that username, by the way. Brown Dave 97. Mikel, take off the handbrakes, says all about Arsenal. There's another question here from Jizzle McDizzle, which I'll come back to in just a second. I'd ask him what fragrance he rocks. That's it. Vive lad, you know it. Man after my own heart. Keep up the good work is what Thomas would say. Where is his comment? Melissa says, I'd say thank you, Gaffer. Also, can we play down the middle a little bit more, please? Handbrake off, says DJ D10. What else? Do you know what? I think he likes food in San Sebastian. He's talked about seafood that he loves. Maybe that's what he'd be snacking on a Friday night. I don't know. I'd ask him for his face care routine, says Josh. It is elite. I think Arnie Slot might have something to say about that. Arnie Slot's skin regime is unreal. Manny says that FK has to go full Silence of the Lambs. Want to know what fragrance he wears. I'm crying, says Hassa. Spot on. Oh my, how I love this team. And I'm sober. It's great to have you here. AFC 777 says, I'd say attack. There is a question also just linked to Mikel Arteta. Jizzle McDizzle says, genuine question. Wayne's going to love this question. What happens if we don't win anything this season? Okay, so let's take that further. So imagine, Wayne, we're in the semi-finals of your cup, the Carabooty, as Karen says. We're top of the Premier League, top of the Champions League phase. Obviously going strong in the FA Cup with Wigan at home. So you would imagine we'd be going into that fifth round. What are you doing in the summer if Mikel fails to lead this team to any of those trophies?
I would be looking to make a change.
No!
We can't.
You know that there's an image on socials where there's that guy digging for jewels and he gets there and he's just like at the edge of the sand or the rocks and the jewels are just...
I think Arsenal fans are so stuck on the negative. Everyone thought negative when Arne Slot went into Liverpool, right? And I'm not talking about Liverpool now. I'm talking about Liverpool when he first went in last season. No one would have thought they would have won the league. I think that this group is strong enough to not capitulate like that. But honestly, the club won't do anything. And people will say it's right, people will say it's wrong. I just don't think you can go 4 out of 5 years or whatever it is, finishing second and winning nothing else. I just think that at some point you have to... It's a bit like Poch at Spurs. Arteta is better than Poch was. But Poch was never going to be the guy that gets Spurs over the line with that team. But a different voice, a different outlook, a different setup, a different style of play, whatever it is, coming into the dressing room, that could be the catalyst that then pushes it. Listen, if Manchester City can sack a manager after winning the title, then yeah. But I don't think he'll go anywhere. If it were to happen, I don't think he'll go anywhere. But I think it would be the right time to. Hopefully, we don't have to have this conversation. And yeah, trophies mean everything in football. I know that we're romantics and this story and the journey and stuff like that, but at some point, there has to be a destination. Like there has to be an end point to the journey. And then we can relax and go on another journey. And your car just can't keep going. You need to fill up for petrol at some point.
Who would you want to succeed him and why is it Ange Postecoglou?
Don't you dare.
I didn't, Moots. Look at Moots. Wayne wants Ange.
Never. No, can you imagine?
AFC 777 says, I agree with Wayne. We'd have to change the guard. Players would have lost belief as well as the fans. Hopefully he does, though. If we don't win the league, I'll pack the bags, tell the wife to get the kids ready. We're going to Bali for 2 months. I mean, look, you'd have to ask questions, but for me, man, winning trophies is like fine margins and a fine line between, actually winning something, getting over the line and maybe coming runners up. I think I would just dust myself down and go again next season. That's exactly what Arsenal Granny's saying, D-Day Spring's saying, Tony's nope. Bye, Mikel. Thank you. Laters. He's just got to win something, man. He's got to. Oh, Luis Enrique. That's for the best.
That would be my number one. He was my number one.
That would be insane.
He was my number one at the time. We could have got him. We didn't. We missed out. But if it were to happen...
Of course he was your number one. I said, while he says that, he was my number one at the top. Mate, you didn't even know who he was.
I loved Enrique. I've loved Enrique for years.
Xabi Alonso. Come on, let's not do this. Oh, Moot sliding in the back post. Cess.
I don't know how that would go down in the Emirates. I don't know how that would
Cess manager, Granit Xhaka assistant. You would love it. I think you'd give up your season ticket, wouldn't you?
Talking of your boy, he's ducking the Emirates test.
Mate, he's not ducking it. The best player in the Premier League not playing against us. That is a blessing.
He knew my moves were coming. He knew I was coming and he hid. That's what it was.
Thomas Tuchel. Hansi
Yeah.
Flick.
Yeah.
Pep, maybe? Could he get bored of sitting?
No. He'll be busy winning Conference North with Manchester City.
True. I love Seski says. It's inevitable, says Jonathan. Right, enough talk about this. I don't want to think about life beyond Mikel. Let's get back to the Champions League draw, the road to Budapest. Now, I texted you boys at about 6 o'clock tonight asking when the Champions League draw is. I didn't realize it was today. I thought it was next week or whatever. But the draw was not actually anything to do with us. It was just the knockout phase. So this courtesy of, I don't even know where it's from, TNT Sports, I want to say, CBS. So Monaco play PSG in a all-French tie there. Galatasaray will host Juventus in that first leg. Benfica, Jose Mourinho against Real Madrid again. That's an interesting tie. What a goal that was, man, from the goalkeeper. Dortmund, Atalanta. Karabag will play Newcastle. Gosh, that means Newcastle will probably progress into the knockout rounds. Club Brugge, who we twatted out in Belgium, will play Atletico Madrid. Bodo Glimt, who had a really impressive win against City, will play Inter Milan. And Olympiacos will play Leverkusen. Look, the road to Budapest is on the right-hand side. Wayne, just explain it to me like I'm a 6-year-old. What were you saying earlier about... So we play Bayern in the final. Is that what you're saying? So why are they drawn us against them now?
We're not drawn against them. That's our grouping.
That's our pairing. Okay.
Yes. So because we finished first and Bayern finished second, we're a pairing. I think the right-hand side is called the blue side of the draw, and the left-hand side, I think, is the silver side of the draw.
Okay.
In an ideal world, we want the blue side.
Because
the path is potentially a little bit easier if things go our way. So if we are paired on the blue side, we're on the right-hand side of the draw. And it means in the round of 16, we will play the winner of Olympiacos versus Bayer Leverkusen.
Very good. I'm with you. Yep. I'm with you.
It would automatically mean that Bayern are on the left-hand side and they play Atalanta and Dortmund.
Okay, okay about that. Yep, cool. And then who do we play in the quarterfinals?
So they'll in our draw. So our draw is at the end of February. It's either the 24th or the 27th. Someone in the chat will be able to confirm the date.
Mm-hmm.
We will see where Manchester City get drawn. You ideally want them in the other half of the bracket. Now, let's say things don't go according to plan, but we beat Leverkusen or Olympiacos. So we move into the quarterfinals. It will be potentially Man City or Sporting versus the winner of Inter and who's that? I don't know who that is that Inter are playing. Oh, Bodo Glimt. Glimt. So the winner of that match. So in an ideal world, it will be Sporting versus Inter, and we play the winner in the quarterfinal. It could be Man City or Inter, and that's where we could play City in 2 legs of the Champions League and the Carabao Cup final, or in the league, all within 3 weeks comes into play. With me?
Oh my God!
Now it gets worse.
It gets worse. Okay.
Yeah.
What, worse than City 4 times in about 3 weeks? Okay.
Yeah, because then we beat Leverkusen, let's say. We beat City. We're into the semi-final. We could be looking at Spurs in a semi-final of the Champions League, or Liverpool or Chelsea.
Liverpool in a semi-final.
And then we get to the final, and that's where it's potentially Bayern Munich. Are you up to speed?
This is the reward for coming top. Mate, I'm telling you, chuck this competition in and focus on the league. Bread and butter, domestic treble, bosh.
Domestic treble, is it? Does that mean winning
just to keep you happy.
Carabao?
Honestly, there is a case to be made here. Listen. I know we finished top of the league phase, and I know this is the cup that it just gets away from us and has gotten away from us every year of our entire history. But if you told me right now I could avoid 2 fixtures against City, 2 fixtures against either Liverpool, most likely Liverpool in the semis, 2 fixtures against a fixture against Bayern Munich in a one-off, but go strong on the league and like spare your players 6 games, mate, it's a thinker. There's a decision there to be made. I'm not going to lie. That is a ridiculous draw.
Yeah. We could have City in a quarterfinal, Liverpool in a semi-final, and Spurs in a final. It could work like that.
Oh, because Spurs come through the other side and...
Yeah. If Spurs come through the other side, Liverpool are in our side. Yeah.
Actually, still don't get it. Okay. Monaco PSG is crazy. Take a foreign team over an English team all day long. I know, especially with the timing of the league. Mohammed's in the chat says, "Hi guys, why not doing phone-in shows here? We did one just a few days ago. I and many others want to talk about Arsenal, express our ideas and analysis. Think of it, FK, please. Listen, Mohammed, I hope you're well. My thoughts and prayers and best wishes go to you and your family and all your nearest and dearest in Gaza. Look after yourself, my man. We will come back with some sort of a phone in. Maybe
We
after
had one the other night. We had
I know
one
we
the other
did
night.
after the semi-final. Chelsea. How about that?
Oh,
If
yeah,
the game's
good.
on Tuesday, we'll do it on the Wednesday. That'd be quite good. Hero Down Under says, "I'll take the domestic treble." Of course we would. The highest or the toughest route, says M. Dot, could be City quarterfinal, Liverpool or PSG in the semi. Oh my God, PSG too lazy.
Oh, we can't play PSG in the semi. We're on
Can
the
we
other. Yeah, unless actually maybe we could. If we were on the left-hand side, we could.
I think we could.
Yeah, I've kind of told myself we're going to be on the right, but yeah.
You know what, Wayne? I think I need the Mary Jane. Saka as good as right. I don't advocate taking that stuff, but it is legal where he is buying it from. Oh man, got to beat the best to be the best," said Jizzle McDizzle. Oh, your positivity. Just when you think you're back out, you just reels you straight back in. Okay, well, look, there's a draw. Interesting as that is the way that it is, and we have a few weeks to wait until we start worrying about that. So when do we know who we
I will
play?
know at the end of February. Is the Friday, whatever the date in Friday is, it's either the 24th or the 27th.
Wait a month.
I think yeah.
You have to wait. Okay. This is something I want to talk about. We talked about Kairat just a moment ago. We're looking ahead to obviously the Leeds game shortly. This isn't just about the starting lineup tomorrow. But chat, let me know your thoughts on the skipper, Martin Odegaard. Should he be left out of the side for a short while? Now, let me come at you first on this, Wayne. I think Martin Odegaard is a fine player, and I have backed him for so long. You know, over the last couple of years, he's had horrific injury issues. He's become a father, and he, physically he changed a lot. He became very sort of lean and gaunt. I've backed him during spells of sort of bad form, and he's not quite sort of been at it. Now I get it. There's going to be strong thoughts in the chat. I can see some things coming up, and everyone's entitled to their opinions. But I still respect him as club captain, and I still like him, and I'm fond of him as a squad player. But I did say just a couple of weeks ago, Wayne, that I think it's coming to crunch time in our season, and we're fighting on so many different fronts, and there are just too many games now where he doesn't deliver in terms of output and influence. Like, I feel a bit like how I felt when sort of Trossard wasn't scoring and assisting. Like, he's just getting carried in games. He's a bit of a passenger. And if anything, sometimes he can stifle our attack by doing his signature 360 pirouette. And then where do we go from here? He has 2 years to run on his contract. Very interestingly, Mikel Arteta spoke about him in his press conference today, saying that, actually Odegaard does need to play a bit more attacking. And actually, it's his natural state to drop so deep. It's where he's comfortable. I thought that was quite interesting. What's your stance on the skipper? It's a shame Yembele's not here because he fucking hates him. No, but he doesn't. What's your stance on the skipper? And is it just and have that conversation first, and then is the solution straightforward in your mind? And chat, let me know. Does Eza just come straight in?
Yeah, he does. And if it's not Eza, then it can be Havertz, or even I think the way that things are going at the minute, I think even Mikel Merino in that position has had a bit more of an impact when he's been subbed on for Odegaard in recent games. He wouldn't be my first choice as the 10 or the right 8, whatever you want to call it. But Martin Odegaard it's not off form anymore. We can't call it form. This is his level at the minute. And I think it was quite telling that Arteta said what he said in the press conference. It's now on Arteta to do something about it. Because if a player is actively, I wouldn't say not listening to your instructions or doing the opposite of what you've told him to, but he's hindering the team. It's now, 3 games in a row that he's been subbed off before the 60th minute? You're realising as a manager, as a coach, that he's doing something wrong. You can't just keep allowing him and allowing games to pass us by for 50, 60 minutes in the hope he does something right. And I think the Premier League has got overly physical, not in a negative way. I think just the physicality in the league and the power and the running ability is caught up with Odegaard a little bit. I think when he first joined, there was a little bit more space. There was a little bit more opportunity for him to pick up those pockets and play it through to Saka because teams weren't defending us the way that they are now. But while he's a wonderful player, I just don't think he is contributing anywhere near enough to still be in the starting lineup at the moment. And I think Eze can come in, Kai can come in, and I think that we just need to go a little bit more standard with the pivot of Rice and Zubimendi and a 10, a pure 10. They can float around, do whatever you want, but they need to be a little bit more direct. And there was a ball over the top that Eze played early to Kai, and it just ran past Kai. He didn't get on the end of it. When was the last time we saw Odegaard do something like that? To try and pick out a run, try to go over the defense rather than through them or around them, apart from sort of that silly back post cross that I no offense to him, I just don't ever want to see it again. It's just so it doesn't do anything, it doesn't create anything. And I think for Arteta, the time now has come to him, and I'm not comparing Odegaard to Rob Holding. Odegaard's a much better player. He's more meaningful. He's more impactful, and he'll contribute something in this running. But Arteta's loyalty or his reliance on the senior player in Rob Holding that season cost us when he could have played Jakub Kivior, and I think we would have been in a better position in terms of build up and probably defensively. We can't make that mistake again with Martin Odegaard when we've got such a great opportunity to finish the season. Just bring someone in that's a little bit more dynamic. And Odegaard can come in like he did against Newcastle and still contribute and play when there's the option to. He's not just going to be sat on the bench now for the rest of the season.
I think a number of people have said in the chat that now's the time for Mikel to earn his crust. It's hard because Odegaard is club captain and it's not easy to just drop someone, but I think it's perfectly justifiable to rest him for a week or two, take him out of the limelight. There's a lot of focus on Odegaard. The fact that he's being asked questions about his playing style in pre-match press conferences is not a good sign. I think Mikel has to just take him out of the firing sort of line and just, give him a couple of weeks out, let him really just sort of get back to fitness and work on his sharpness with sort of appearances off the bench. And when you've got such a strong squad, Wayne, when you've got the quality of the likes of Eberechi Eze, of Kai Havertz now who's back, you have options there that you can play in those 2-8s. I quite liked the sort of Havertz as a pair with Norgard sort of sat behind. I quite like that. I've talked about Declan Rice sitting, and I know Zubimendi's in there, but taking Zubimendi out and having these two in certain game states, I think it's exciting. And now that Havertz is back, I think that's going to be really positive. But lots of people are saying, look, we need to move past Odegaard, a bit like what you were saying. Like, he's found his level. Unfortunately, our game, as Hero Done Under said, has sort of evolved past him. Jonathan saying tough to drop your captain, but it's a big call. There is some strong opinions back and forth between people watching in the chat. Keep it clean, please, ladies and gents, boys and girls. A very respectful community about whether people are being too strong on Odegaard, but it's so sad that he just can't move forward with us. And he says, I loved him so much. Eze does lose the ball quickly too. Eze's not really hit the heights of a £70 million player, if you ask me, in my personal opinion, but I think it warrants a change. And this is the point for tomorrow, Wayne. Leeds are a physical team.
Yeah.
Coming on to that now, it's going to be a big fight, and Odegaard looks frail. Like he's pushed and bounced off the ball so easily.
Yeah, and in a game where they're going to be looking for that physicality, you want to play the ball quickly. And everyone can say, well, Eze's not been performing. I don't think he's set the world alight outside of the first sort of part of the season. But when there's a physical game like that and Leeds are going to be into you, you want to touch the ball quick. And Eze does that. He'll take one touch and he'll knock it out wide. He'll take one touch, chip it over the top. He'll lay it off first time and give it back to Declan Rice. Whereas Odegaard at the moment is taking 2, 3, 4 touches and it's slowing down our play. I think that whatever it is at the minute, whether it's injuries, whether it's just tactical, whether it's his confidence, whether it's his just overall level catching up with him, it's better for him and it's better for us at the moment that he is out of the team. What I will say though, if Arteta is going to play him, try something different. play him on the left of the midfield and play Declan Rice on the right of the midfield. It's a little bit more natural for Odegaard. He could play just straight through balls to a runner on the left-hand side, to Trossard, who's really good with his movement. Let's just, if you're going to try and help him out of the slump, don't keep asking him to do the same thing, because it's obviously not, it's just not working at the moment. And we're not in a position really for it not to work anymore.
Yeah, lots of people I think have lost patience with Odegaard. A few people obviously still being respectful and saying, look, people have short memories, but it's clear he's not at his best. He's nowhere near his brilliant best, and he looks a little bit more fragile is probably the word that I want to sort of describe him with. But, he absolutely has a role to play, and maybe with a couple of weeks out of the limelight and just to kind of, get stronger again and become fitter, maybe that's what is needed. So that's going to be an interesting conundrum for Mikel to deal with as we look ahead to the Premier League fixtures this weekend. Ladies and gents, boys and girls, first up on the left-hand side, courtesy of PremierLeague.com, the Premier League table. It is match week 24. So after tomorrow, we will have just 14 games to play. So Arsenal are top of the Premier League, 23 games played. We've lost 3 games now thanks to that defeat at the Emirates against Manchester United, which stung, of course, pretty badly. We play Leeds tomorrow in the 3 p.m. kickoff. Manchester City, who are lurking in the background, they are also on 23 games played, and they are 4 points behind us, and they play the Scum away on Sunday. So that timing could be a chance for us just to put a bit more pressure, but we've got to take care of business ourselves, and Leeds will be a tough place to go. Villa are in third, also 46 points, and they play Brentford this weekend. They play on Sunday, and they are at home. You would expect them to win that after their Europa triumph last night. Manchester United are in fourth. They are looking good for a potential charge to a Champions League spot. They host Fulham as Michael Carrick takes charge of his third game. And our opponents, Leeds, are just above the relegation zone, despite their awesome form since the start of December. So the full fixture roster is as follows. Brighton will play Everton. No early kickoff tomorrow because Liverpool play Newcastle at 8 p.m. at Anfield. What a game that's going to be. Shame Isak isn't fit. Leeds will play Arsenal. That's a 3 p.m. kickoff. Wolves host Bournemouth. Chelsea play West Ham at the 5:30 London derby. Sunday, it all opens with Villa playing against Brentford. Manchester United are at home to Fulham. Forest host Palace, and Spurs, who are already coming out saying they want to lose, are going to be hosting City at 4:30. And then Monday night, Sunderland versus Burnley. What's your mood going into the weekend, Wayne? What are you expecting?
Nerves because of the 3-game run that we've just been on. I trust us to bounce back, though. We tend to normally bounce back after a run like this. And I think, funnily enough, that playing at 3 o'clock on a Saturday is really good for us. I think there's going to be less eyes on us. I know that there aren't many big games on at that time, so people will still find their ways to watch us. But it's not a Saturday night kickoff. It's not a Super Sunday game where the media can kick into it, where every fan is hate watching us. I think being able to do our business kind of behind the blackout away at Leeds on Saturday 3 p.m. I think is good for us. And Leeds looked all right against Everton the other week. Like they had a decent performance against them. But down in 16th, although they're physical and although their home record has been quite good in that last 2-month spell recently that you mentioned, and their form in general has been quite good, we're the best team at the moment away from home, and it's very tough to win away from home. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be as comfortable as maybe Arsenal fans would like.
Yeah, look, it's not going to be an easy game at all. As Jonathan says, if we win tomorrow, start preparing the parade, it's huge. I mean, look, we're Premier League leaders, but we're not going to have it easy at Ellen Road tomorrow because they are going to, be well up for it. They are flirting with relegation, and we want to steady our sort of recent wobble, if you like, at the top of the table. We've got a 4-point advantage over City. City will be watching with intent. They will be hoping that we succumb to the Ellen Road atmosphere, which is going to be absolutely firing when we turn up to Yorkshire. And I've seen a couple of people in the chat have mentioned that our travel was disrupted with fog, and we've not been able to fly up the night before, and I wonder how the players will react to that. Leeds are looking superb after a recent surge in good form. They showed a really good performance against Everton away on Monday night. They drew their 1-1. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, of course, playing for Leeds. And since the 1st of December, as I said at the very start of the show, for Jizzle McDizzle's mental well-being. They are 6th in the Premier League form table. Since that time, they've actually lost only 1 of their last 10 Premier League games, winning 3, drawing 6. Pretty interesting. They've only lost twice all season, by the way, at Ellen Road. They've beaten Chelsea. They've picked up draws against Liverpool, United, Newcastle. So it's going to be a very, very tough fixture. Let me tell you. M. Dot says we just need a 2-0. Anything we can do. Woo saying, you did you see our travel plans were affected? Yeah, I've just mentioned that. And Mohammed saying, all the best, FK and Wayne. Really miss talking to you guys. Pray for Gaza. Pray for Palestine. Prayers for you always, Mohammed. Let's talk about team news and selections and what we do then and where we think the game would be won. Now, last time out, earlier on in the season, Wayne, if you remember, we beat them 5-0 at the Emirates. And this was done at Victor Gyökeres, obviously having a field day that day. Let me just scroll down to some of the highlights of Mikel Arteta's press conference today. We've already talked about young Mats Dowman. But here are the sort of key headlines. He was asked actually about the size of the matchday squad. And he wants the Premier League to increase the matchday squad size to help the standard, maintain the mental health of players, because at the end of the day, you can't overload players by playing them all the time. You've got to rotate, and sometimes you're going to need a bigger squad because you don't want to leave anybody out.
So I'm guessing he wants like the Champions League numbers, where it's like 12 and 12 or 11 and 11 or something like that.
Why not?
Have everyone in the squad.
Exactly. But Burton needs to, dust off the old checkbook for the summer. We've got no new injury worries, which is great. So Jurien Timber and William Saliba are fit to play, despite playing a lot of minutes and despite missing out in the Champions League game against Kairat. What else? He was asked about Pep Guardiola, saying, what he thought of Arsenal, and Pep said that Arsenal are the best team in the world, and he didn't really sort of, bite at that. He talked about Max Dowman, and Dowman's sort of amazing talent and career. He said that the fans and the team are right behind what they're trying to achieve after the defeat against Manchester United. And if they keep playing with that freedom and enjoyment, got to make sure that the journey is beautiful. He delivered one hell of a pre-match press conference on Tuesday ahead of the Kairat game, where he talked about we're going to go and play to win it the next 4 months. It was a time to
get on the boat.
Exactly. It was a chance to sort of lower the temperature and just sort of reset. So, yeah, look, he's in buoyant mood, and I think it's going to be a very, very tough game, no doubt about it. If we were to think about lineups, this was our lineup last time out. Obviously, we played a slightly weakened team against Kairat in the week. What are we expecting? David Raya to keep goal, and chat, let me know your starting 11s. So, David Raya to keep goal. Yeah. Timber straight in at right back. Saliba, Gabriel coming in at centre backs, and left back, maybe Ricky Calafiori.
Yeah, I think Calafiori coming off at 45 probably indicates he'll be good to start. I don't think he'll play the full 90 minutes. But yeah, as long as he came through that 45 minutes unscathed, then he'll probably start on the left-hand side. Timber will probably come in, but Ben White has, I think, been playing very well the last few weeks.
Yeah.
And I think he gives us something going forward that Timber doesn't. And I think for a game against Leeds, Ben White is maybe a little bit more suitable.
Do you fancy him against his old club, though? He's going to get booed. Do we want that?
No one boos Ben White. Everyone loves him.
Yeah, true. And he was ever present in their promotion run when he was there.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think that maybe with Calafiori back, it might allow us to be a bit more free on the left-hand side. So maybe we need to be a bit more solid with Timber. I think Timber does come in, but I would consider playing White. I think White has played really well recently.
Okay. I personally would go Timber. I would go Saliba, Gabriel, and I would go Calafiori, because I think Calafiori's presence as that sort of, attacking left back is fantastic. Midfield, what are you doing? Big decision for Mikel to make about Martin Odegaard. What would you do?
I would go Rice, Zubi, and Eze. I think Arteta's going to pick Odegaard, though.
Okay, hold that thought. So Odegaard to play alongside, presumably, Zubimendi, Rice, straight back in the team?
Yeah.
So then the question is, what are you doing at left wide forward? Does Eze maybe get a nod there? Because I thought Eze played well against Kairat. I know it's only Kairat, and he didn't score or assist, but the pre-assists and the sort of progressive passing, I think he had 75, 80-odd touches on the night. He looked good. Is that enough for you?
I don't think Arteta will trust him there anymore after that Villa game. I think it will take a while for us to see him there again. Trossard hasn't been playing well. I know he's been very good for the majority of the season, but last sort of 5 to 10 games or so, he's taken a bit of a dip. I would look. I guess it depends who you're starting at striker, because if you're starting Gyökeres, you can't really start Martinelli, and if you're starting Jesus,
so what are you
you can't start Trossard. I would start Trossard. I would go Trossard because I want Victor Gyökeres probably to be up front. I'd prefer Kai, but Kai's not going to play from the start from this game, I don't think.
I mean, Arteta said he was fit, so...
Yeah, I mean, he said it before and left him out, obviously, for I guess, precautionary reasons, which is fine. I just think it's a lot to ask him to do 45 minutes and then 60 minutes back-to-back after a year out.
But... Yeah, I agree. Mikel Merino, does he get a shout-out for you? I mean, there's a lot of chat about Mikel Merino playing at 9. Just go back to basics, Arsenal, after 3 games without a win.
We have 3 fit strikers now. We can't do that.
You can. In the words of Mick McCarthy, you can. Oh, yes, you can.
I can't do that now.
All right, fair enough. So you're going Rice, Ødegaard, Supermendy.
No, I'm going Eza, but I think that's what Arteta would do.
Okay. All right, fair enough. I appreciate that. Sol Campbell says, FK, hope your son enjoyed himself on Wednesday night. He did. At the time, it was like the best thing was we parked up on the driveway and he sort of looked at me as I turned the car off. He said, Bubba, I love hanging out with you. And I was like, oh my God, that was so sweet. But yeah, I was telling the story, Wayne, last night of how I took him to Atletico Madrid the night before we flew to Abu Dhabi last October. And Gyökeres scored twice in front of him. And that was his obsession with him started in every family photo in that holiday. He was like, every family photo, zoo, aquarium, theme park, hotel, landmarks, afternoon tea, everything. And my missus was so angry. More than you believe.
Put them around the house.
Oh, mate, she won't let me, but I keep sending them to him. Who would boo Ben White, says DJ D10. And Alien says, I love Ben White, but I don't know if I could put up with his throwing. Oh, my God. Oh my God! What I thought we appointed a new throwing coach. Why do we take 45 seconds to take a throw?
So annoying. It's so frustrating.
It's like I don't know if it's by instruction. Like it takes so long every time. It feels like it's an instruction.
I don't think it is, but yeah, I don't know. I just hope it stops.
Okay. Well, there we have it. So look, Eza is the decision that I think is going to have to be made tomorrow. I'd be interested to see if Kai Havertz plays. Sampadi, welcome to the show, says Havertz in the 10, Eza left wing. I wouldn't be averse to that at all. Hand of Arsenal is here. Welcome to the chat, my brother. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for being also in the Patreon community. If anybody wants to go and follow and support the channel there for the price of a coffee a month, you can get involved in the chat with Hand of Arsenal. He is there. Hand of Arsenal, let us know if you wink once, although we can't see you, if Gyökeres is going to start, if Havertz is going to start. What's going to happen, man? We just need to know. We need to know. Right, let me have your score prediction, Wayne. What's going to happen tomorrow? 3 p.m. kickoff in Yorkshire, and Arsenal's travel disruptions, completely disrupted.
Yeah, I think we win, but I do think it will be a struggle win, because I think it will just be one of those where you just kind of want to get back on the horse and get back to winning ways. I think we win 2-1. I also think
it's going to be so hard.
I also think that what time will the squad be announced? Or the starting lineup be announced at 1:45?
1:45, yeah.
That is going to be bedlam if Ødegaard is on the start. Like this might be the most anticipated starting lineup this season for us.
Come on, Hand of Arsenal. Just text the Patreon group. What do you think is going to happen tonight? Let me know. Leeds are winless in their last 6 home games against Arsenal. They've drawn 2, lost 4. And actually, we've won our last 6 games against Leeds by an aggregate score, Wayne, of 20-5. So you're going with 2-1. Let's have a look at what our fans think. So Vive Lad think 2-1 to the Arsenal. Saka and Calafiori. That would be fantastic. Denverite says 1-1, dropping more points. He also thinks that City are going to pip us within the next 2 weeks. Mohamed Zakaria says 4-1 to the Arsenal. Mohamed says we will win 2-1, hopefully, God willing. Saka's got 3-1 to the good guys. Manny says 2-1. Phoenix says 2-0. Easy win.
I hope so. I don't see it being easy. I would love it to be, though.
I don't think it'd be easy, I'll be honest with you. Jonathan says 2-1 to the Arsenal. Saka, big Gabby header. Head of Arsenal says, hope fans get used to the big names not being in match day squads. Yeah, we were just talking about Arteta's desire for a bigger squad, hand of Arsenal. Whole Milk says, we will win 5-0. Chris Hodgson. Chris, welcome to the show, Chris. Hang on. It is Chris Hodgson, isn't it? Are you? Tell me, Chris, if you're the Chris of the Patreon chat, I hear your father's been poorly. I wish you all the very best. Wish him all the very best. And if it's not Chris of the Patreon chat, well then Chris, I have a lot of love for your dad as well. Let's hope all of our parents are well. Classic Dan Smith says 5-2. Mike Jones says 1-0. Melissa says 2-1. I don't like all of this confidence for goals from both teams. That's not good. Warrior Top 5 says 3-1. Tough first half, but we always show up in the second. Well, we do, but we didn't against United or Liverpool or Forest. That's what I'm worried about. Thomas says 4-1. SK says 0-0. Do you know what? Anything but a win. And I'm going to have a big wobble, Wayne. I'll be honest with you. City are going to Spurs and they're winning, right? Or are Spurs going to do what they do?
No. They're not. No.
Spurs, no chance? No? Okay.
No.
I mean, it depends. When we need them to do something at the latter stage of the season, they never ever take points off City. But for some reason, early on in every season, they take points off City.
They will want Frank out tomorrow more if they win this game than if he was to lose for the rest of the season. I think Spurs fans would genuinely take relegation over us potentially winning the league.
Yeah, they would. Chris, I'm so pleased it's you. My best wishes to you. I know you've travelled a lot this week as well. So I'm sort of told best wishes, mate, and just relax this weekend, get some rest, and I hope your dad is well on his way to recovery. I think we're going to leave it there. Spurs might, Frank won't. He's a platinum member. Well, look, if he's a silver member, come on, Thomas, do what you got to do. You can do us all a favour. Spurs will be Spursy. 2-2, says Viggs, and 6-0 Arsenal. That's what I'm talking about. I can do
That's the spirit. We love that one.
Exactly. Right, ladies and gents, boys and girls, that's been a lot of fun. Thanks so much for joining us on this Friday night. Really, really appreciate your company. Hundreds of you still watching live, which is great. If you've enjoyed the content, please do drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Get over to Patreon, get over to TikTok, get over to Spotify and Apple and whatever it is, wherever platform you get your Latte Firm Fix from. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Really, really pleased that you guys are here, still here on this Friday night. Really love it. And thanks to all of our Patreon community, our YouTube channel members, and just everyone. Where was Yem, says Manny? He's somewhere between Birmingham and Bradford.
He's on a motorway.
he's on a motorway. Yeah, he's doing something. And I'm told he had a good week at work, but I haven't seen his little old face. I can't wait to see him.
Friends now, FK. He doesn't need us anymore.
I know. Friends. New work, friends. Christoph says, thanks, FK. Much appreciated. Thank you to Wayne as well. Well done, FK. And well done, Wayne. Is that Sir Alex in disguise? Well done, FK. Well done, Wayne. Well done. Cheers, FK, Wayne. And thanks to the chat as well. You guys keep it all full of love. Wayne, where can people find you and your podcast?
Obviously, with the _, Wayne's World 20, Wayne World 20, actually. 20. On X, on Blue Sky. And you can follow me and hear more from me on the Can You Believe It podcast, spelled Kanu, K-A-N-U Believe It, with our good friend Matt.
Indeed, the bandit that is Met.
Yes.
Met's obviously watching as well, and he's working late. Hope you finish your work, Met. Keep the country going, my friend. We'll be back tomorrow with a match reaction video after the whistle at some point. And then hopefully on Sunday, if the business is done at a certain Tottenham toilet bowl, maybe we'll have a late night lounge on Sunday night. Look after yourselves. Enjoy it. Up the Arsenal. We are up at Ellen Road tomorrow in Yorkshire, hopefully to get the 3 points and to go marching on in this title race. Bye for now.